This call is being recorded.
Good morning, everybody. Today is November 4th. I cannot believe this year's almost gone. So we've got to embrace the month that we're in. This is truly the most incredible month of the year, every single year. Our team did well over $1 million in sales the last 2 years, so I cannot wait to see what we do this month. This is the Business Builder call, guys, and we're really wanting to focus on building your business, getting into leadership, helping others get into leadership on your team with this particular call every Monday morning. So kudos to you for being here to pick up tips and to help yourselves as well as your team. So I'm very excited about today because the great Sherry Stacks is going to be sharing tips with us. Sherry's building an incredible team. She works a full-time job and she's, like me, a big dog lover, and she's building an incredible business with Wine Shop. So Sherry, without further ado, I'm going to turn this call over to you because we cannot wait to hear from you.
Okay, well, thank you. So hi guys, I am really excited to be on this call today and really just kind of sharing from my heart because Tammy asked me to talk today, keeping it on the theme of the basics and keeping it simple. She said, what do you focus on for building your team? And so I really gave it some thought. And I even asked a couple people on my team, what do I do? What do you think I do? What do I do on a regular basis? What is it that you think that I do well? So some of the things that I'm going to be sharing with you today actually came from a couple of my leaders, and just wanted to share the basics and what I think are very, very important that I deliver to my team, or at least try to deliver to them daily. Now, I can't do every single one of these things daily, but on a daily basis, some of these things, hopefully many of these things do come out. So I focus on connection, simplicity and repetitive action, systems, a healthy mind, and strong leadership. So the first one is connection. Theodore Roosevelt said, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And I can't even stress that enough. So let me go back just a little bit. My training today is really geared towards more of the leadership focus, people who want to be in leadership and are already in leadership. If you're not interested in being in leadership, just keep on doing what you're doing, but take some notes today because maybe you'll still get some good nuggets. But nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So building a relationship with your team is, in my opinion, probably the most important thing that we do as a leader. I do preach this almost daily, if not every other day, to my team leaders. We have to build the relationship with our team. So how do we do that? We get to know who is on our team, know them by name, where they live, maybe their city or their state, if they have kids, a day job, a husband, dogs, what do they do and what do they love? By asking these simple questions, you're going to learn a lot about these people. And it's going to help you in the future knowing these things. If you're not spending time with your new recruits to build the relationship in the beginning, then later on, when you see a rock star coming up from underneath your ranks and you all of a sudden want to connect with them, then they're not going to think that you're going to be genuine. So you must build a relationship in the beginning. You can't just all of a sudden become their best coach and team leader or whatever. If you haven't built that relationship with them, then all of a sudden when they're just rocking it out of this world, now you want to be involved. Guys, let's be genuine. Let's, really truly give our heart and our soul to them so that they know how much we care in the beginning, not just when it's going to benefit you later on down the road. So reach down, talk with them on the phone, use Voxer, whatever it takes. If you need to, ask them how they learn. What are their fears or their obstacles in this business? If you have done the recruiting call for them and you actually recruited them for someone on your team, you should probably know what their fears are or obstacles. I know what every person who's been recruited on my team, all the way down, I know what their fears are. I know what their obstacles are. if I recruited them for them. Because that's one of the questions that I ask during a recruiting call. I get to that. I find that out. In the beginning, listen more than talk. Ask questions and make the initial calls about them. I can usually tell what type of trainee someone is going to be just from the recruiting call. This is important to know how they learn. Again, if you can't guess it, if you can't learn it, then ask them. If you've got somebody that's completely silent, they're probably taking notes. They're probably not judging you. They're probably taking notes. So sometimes I'm like, I bet you're taking notes. She goes, I am. Great. So then I already know this person wants some detailed information, and I give them more information on that call. The second thing is simplicity. Simplicity, repetitive action, and systems. I'm going to lump all these together. When I was thinking a long time ago about being a leader, my biggest concern was how was I going to fit it all in, and how would I coach my team? I have a full-time day job, and thinking about being a leader and what I had to do was truly overwhelming. We don't want our new consultants to have this issue. We want them to jump right in, right? So how do we make it simple for them? On my team, I'm the main coach. If you can be the main coach. In my teams, I am my team's main coach, even though let me try that again. Even the people who have team leaders between us. The sponsor, if it's not me, will do some hands-on work with their new teammate, like launching them, helping them input their orders, showing them how to calculate orders at the checkout. They're being there, right next to them. But for my team, I have my own system for onboarding new consultants, and I am that main person. I make that connection initially, right up front, and they know who to talk to. I do make I'll get to that in a minute. One of the most important things as a leader is follow through. Make sure that you're making it easy for your team leaders to focus on their job. Their job is booking, selling, and recruiting, especially brand new team leaders who really haven't been established. We want them to do that because now we've got that $500 bonus when they hold their title for the next 3 months, right? So they don't need to be worried about training their new teammates. They need to be concerned with getting their bookings on their calendar, selling and recruiting, and re-promoting themselves. So adding a new consultant to your 100-day training program is very overwhelming for a new team leader. So let's give them that opportunity to just focus on those things. Do 3-way coaching calls, 3-way recruiting calls. The 3-way coaching calls can be one-on-one or over the telephone. They could be Voxering, but I always make sure that there's a group set up between me and the sponsor and the new consultant. That way, I'm training my sponsor, team leader, whoever they are, at the same time while I'm training my new consultant. Sometimes the sponsor or the team leader can answer the call first, and I can give them kudos. I can edify that consultant and tell them how awesome they're doing, or I can even tweak it and add a little something else. If I don't respond unless I think that I need to encourage and continue encouraging them. The 3-way recruiting calls are a great way for someone who's moving up into leadership to learn how you recruit. The 6:30 call is also a great way for people to learn how to recruit. But 3-way recruiting calls is, again, teaching the up-and-coming leader or the team leader how to do a great recruiting call, and also working with that new up-and-coming consultant and beginning to build that relationship. I do have one hard and fast rule. If they get on a 3-way recruiting call with me, the sponsoring consultant is not allowed to talk or add information during the recruiting call. They're there to learn, and they're there to listen. At the very end, I give them opportunities to talk or add something, but during the main call, I do not want them to talk. It actually shows some disrespect to the person that's recruiting for you. It shows the possible consultant that you don't trust that they're saying what they need to be said. It's very important that if they're listening, they are listening and truly listening and learning how to recruit. The next thing I do is I create systems, things that are repetitive, and track them. I track these things. I don't track everything, guys. I am not a super organizing freak, but I do track certain things that are very important in our business. I remember on a call one time several years ago with Tammy, she says, if you don't track it, it doesn't happen. And that is so true. So I found a system for me that works really, really well. Make sure to get on a one-on-one call within the first couple days of a new consultant signing up, because you want to help them focus on the training. They need to know how the most successful consultants go through the whole training, how they show up to training on Monday nights, and how they earn rich rewards. The Wine Cellar has an amazing training system built by our home office. They have videos from some of the top leaders in our company. Figure out a system to get your new teammates on into that back office and to go through those videos and that training immediately. Some people, now how do you track that? Some people like to use Excel. I do as well, but not for this. I wanted to see something that while I was sitting at my desk, I could look up and be able to read it. So I bought a very large Post-it pad, about 25 by 30, and it hangs on my wall in front of my desk. And it's got the graph lines on it. And I literally take it to my big kitchen table, I lay it down, and I draw out the lines, the columns, etc. My new consultants are on the left-hand side of the page, and the things that I'm tracking are going across the right. I track things like their first day through their 100 days. I check mark even if they are talking to me and responding to me. That is really important. If I'm spending time reaching out to them and they are not responding, then I slow down responding to them and reaching out to them, and I focus my efforts on the people who are responding to me. I track if they are in fact going through the training. You will know this by getting on one-on-one calls and Voxer calls with them. You'll also know because if they aren't getting on calls with you and they're not booking, you're going to know if they're going through the training. If they're not reaching out to you also, some of those things are things that I track. I check off their 7th day, 45th day, 75th day, and 100 days. And I mark in a big color if they've earned their rich rewards. So I'm counting how many people on our team are hitting the rich rewards. I also check my follow-up calls with them or texts. I always stay as close as I can to my new consultants in their first couple months. I tell them sometimes we're going to be somewhat joined at the hip. It's going to be through a telephone call and through Voxer, but we're joined at the hip because I want you to succeed. I have what you want and you need me. I will help you and do everything I can to help you be as successful as you can, but only if you are responding to me and working through the system. This relationship is key to their success and to yours. Become the new consultant's go-to person. It makes it much easier for your team leaders to focus on building a strong team. Remember that our team leaders, we want them to build wide and let their teammates build deep. Again, and I can't say this enough, I've said it a lot of times already, build this relationship from the beginning. The next thing that I want to focus on is a healthy mind. Affirmations. I know we've been talking about this since the last couple conventions when we started kind of doing some affirmations. We went through that again with our trainer this last year. But in order to be a strong leader, we need to start by being strong or have a healthy mindset ourselves. We need to know our worth. We need to, every morning, I turn on affirmations. I connect to a YouTube channel. I then use an Amazon Echo in my bathroom so that it's loud enough to hear while I'm in the shower. And I legitimately repeat every word after them. I repeat it. And guys, there are times when I repeat words and I realize, oh, that's an area that I need work on because it doesn't feel good. It feels like, really? I'm worthy? Yeah, I'm worthy, but I don't feel worthy. So if I don't feel worthy, then I know I need to work on that. It's very important to repeat these outside. Then I share these affirmations with my team. Sometimes I share them with the whole team, sometimes just the leaders, or maybe the up and coming leaders, or sometimes just to someone in particular that I might have thought of while listening to them. And if you're going to share with an individual, you've got to make sure that you have built the relationship with them first, so that when they get this from you, they will take it to heart and know that you mean well by listening to that. Consultants on my team have reached out to me personally and told me how they decided to listen to the affirmations, just give it a chance, and they listen to them every day. And then they shared the difference that it made for them over time. Some of them, it helped to stop beating themselves up, gave them more courage, more confidence, more belief in themselves. They felt more worthy, and they realized that they are enough and that they too can do anything that they put their minds to. Not everyone has taken me up on the offer to listen, but that's their choice. But those who have shown a lot of growth in the last several months. I also share books. I share books with my team on things that I have read or listened to. Actually, most of the time it's through Audible. As I get to know my team a little bit better and we develop a stronger bond in our relationship as a growing group and a growing team, and we learn more about what they're going through, because life happens and changes significantly every 3 to 6 months to every one of us. So as those things happen, I might have listened to a book before that I could share with them now, through something that they're going through. Or maybe if you just know that they have some obstacles in their life and you have a book or something that could help them, you could share that with them. If they've never used Audible before, they get their first book free. So send to your new consultants anything that you think that might help with their situation, maybe help with what's going to help get them over their greatest fear, things like that. The other thing that Tammy said is you can't recognize enough. You can never recognize enough. So recognition and incentives. Recognize everything. Recognize activity. Recognize bookings, recruiting, and even showing up to training. Guys, when I started my Monday night call, and it always coincides exactly after Monday Night Live ends, we skip right on over. At first, it was just a conference call. Then I changed to Zoom, and we go from one Zoom account to the next. But in the beginning, when I started my weekly call, sometimes nobody would show up. But guess what I did? I went out to my Facebook group and I said, awesome call tonight. Sorry, I'll see you guys next week, or missed some of you guys tonight. Then I might have 1 or 2 people come up to the call, and I would say, guess what? You got one-on-one time with me. What do you guys want to talk about tonight? And I would constantly tell my team how awesome that call was, even when inside it didn't feel so awesome that people didn't show up. But guess what? I have a very significant number of people who show up to my call every single Monday night. They know how important it is. They know how important it is that I show up, and I show up too. So if I want my team to show up, I'm going to show up, right? I recently announced an incentive for bookings, and I really like this. A lot of times people like to do booking blitzes. I'll just be honest. I'm not crazy about booking blitzes, because we go out there, hey, I've been challenged to do this. Everybody knows the situation now in network marketing. We all have been challenged. Yes, yes, yes. But guess what? I challenge them that they must book a total of 6 tastings from tastings. And if they do, then they're going to get entered to a monthly drawing for a gift at the end of the month. Everyone who has at least booked 6 from their tastings will get an entry. 1 more entry for each additional booking. So I think that's really fun. It doesn't have to be a huge gift, but guys, we're trying to create an atmosphere of booking tastings at tastings, so they don't have to go search all the time and go get new blood. You want it every now and then, but you shouldn't be every single month looking for new people, or struggling to find new people is what I should say there. We want them to book tastings at tastings. So how do we do that? We encourage that, and we incentivize that. I also do incentivizing as a whole team, something that everyone has to work together to earn. It doesn't get earned unless everybody works together. How many tastings do you as your team want to hold? Do you need 100? Do you need 200, 300, or 400 tastings a month for your whole team? How many? So when as a team you hold however many you want, someone gets to have a nice reward. Be a little bit more generous on this because that's huge, guys. To be qualified to earn this, the consultant has to have held at least a minimum number of tastings. You also get to decide that. Is it 5? Is it 6? You decide how many tastings they have. Qualified now is $100 per tasting. Make them work for it, guys. Do not reward inactivity or one tasting. So, guys, if somebody comes in and wants to do one tasting a month, you know it's fine. We're fine with that. They want to be a hobby, they can be a hobby. Okay, but what if that person comes in, does one tasting, and they win the big gift? They haven't earned it. Make sure you challenge your team and reward those who are working. This is also going to incentivize those who maybe are doing a minimum to step up their game and hold more tastings a month. They don't like to be left out. Nobody likes to be the last man picked on the kickball team. They want to keep up too, but maybe they just didn't have enough incentive yet. So make sure you don't get soft here. Hold your ground. Not everybody wins and not everybody chooses to participate, and that's okay. But reward those who want it and work hard for it. So the next step in my delivery for my team is I need to be a strong leader. I believe in giving a hand up and not a handout. And trust me, I've been there. I have given handouts. But after you give the handout, most of the time, it doesn't pan out for that person because those consultants really don't want to perform. They start expecting that it's going to be done for them again and again. Help them earn it. Encourage them. Really talk to them and build that relationship and see what that fear is behind that. They obviously have a fear. If you don't know what fear is, go back to my last call that I did on fear, and it will tell you what people go through. That panic, that fear, they can't move. And many times it's a fear. So work with them, tell them how much you care and you really want to work with them and help them get through this. But don't give it to them. It is so much more rewarding for both of you if somebody earns it and you hold to your guns and make sure that they have to do XYZ to get there. Remember that what you have is what they want. You are their leader, and you've been in the business much longer than they have. Even if it's 5 days, you've been in that business a lot longer than they have, okay? You've been tried and true. You've been there and done that. So listen to your gut. It will take you down the right path. I promise. Just keep walking forward in the path that your gut is telling you, even if sometimes it doesn't make sense. Trust your gut. Hold strong, leaders. Don't give in to the temptation to build a house of cards and hire warm bodies for your team. We've probably all been there. We wanted to get something so bad that we decided to do something. We hired a warm body, and guess what happens? It crumbles, doesn't it? But even if it makes taking longer to get to your next promotion, stay strong, build strong. One of my favorite analogies, and don't quit. And don't quit. That was my next thing. Don't quit. On that, I want to share one of my favorite analogies. I haven't used this in a while, but my whole team, bless their hearts, they have to listen to my analogies all the time. I always have something. It's usually sports related. I don't know why, but it is. So our business is like this. Our business is like surfing in the ocean. We paddle out really hard. It takes a while to get out to the spot where we want to wait for that perfect wave, right? We're working. We got to work and you got to tread water even on a surfboard, right? You're still working, but you're waiting for that perfect wave. The first wave comes. The second, it looks good. We start paddling, but we miss it. So what do? We wait for the next wave. We're still working. We're still moving forward. We're hanging in there, waiting for the third and the fourth and the fifth go by us and so on until we see that perfect wave coming again. We prepare, we get situated on our board and prep for the perfect time to start paddling. We start paddling. We paddle hard. We lean forward on our board. We get the right speed and we catch the wave. And oh my God, we caught it. We stand up. We adjust and we're surfing. It's going along so well, we actually hang 10, dude, right? Hanging 10. This ride is fun. We are working it. Everything we've been doing has paid off, but guess what? We ride this wave all the way to the beach, and sometimes that landing isn't even as smooth as we thought it was going to be. But we made it. We did it. We're exhilarated, right? Well, guess what? The next ride is out there amongst the next waves. The only thing we have to do is to paddle back out there, get ready, work our business, keep focusing on the activity, and do it all over again. This is what we call rebuilding. We all do it. We all go through it. It's inevitable. Life happens, right? As leaders, we need to understand that this is the ride that we signed up for because we aren't quitters. We're entrepreneurs. We just keep going over and over and over again. In the words of Eric Worre, in his famous speech, A Call to Action, if someone tells you you can't climb mountains, you tell them I'm going to the top. If anyone tells you you can't go up, it's too rocky, it's too steep, it's too slippery, you say, listen here, I'm going up. You're either going to see me waving from the top or dead on the side. I'm not coming back. The greatest thing about what we do in our business is that we, in this business, can all win. It's not crowded at the top, y'all. It's not just for those people. It's for all of us. We just have to want it bad enough and then decide to do it. Let me remind you that it's not a decision if you are not moving forward. You're either moving forward towards your dream or you're pretending you are in your head. Which is it going to be? Forward momentum or excuses? One of my favorite movies, A Knight's Tale. I love this little section. The father says, you can change your stars. Let me tell you something, you can. It doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter what your life was like. It doesn't matter what your life is like right now. You certainly can change your stars. Every single one of us can. Believe it, own it, feel it, think it into existence, and move your feet forward. Growth only happens, this is a quote that I don't have any idea who said this, but growth only happens when the pain of remaining the same becomes greater than the pain it takes to change. Let me read that one again because that one's kind of difficult sometimes to get through your head. Growth only happens when the pain of remaining the same becomes greater than the pain that it takes to change. When you overcome the fear of moving forward and truly decide to go for your dreams, you will feel the forward momentum. And then, believe me, you will change your stars. That's all I got, guys.
Sherry, that was amazing. Thank you so very much. Wow. So many things. I just hope everybody heard. There were so many things I wanted to reiterate, but I'm like, dang, truly her whole call was amazing. We will get this posted on the Monday Night Live crew page. Sherry, if you don't mind, the link that you're using for your affirmations, do you know what that is off the top of your head? Is it a website? Is it a, what is that?
I've got several. I'll post
Okay.
several out there on the Monday Night Live page.
Okay, that would be awesome. Okay, that would be really good. Guys, recognition is so key in our business. I just read this week that people will work for recognition harder than they work for money. And Sherry mentioned that earlier, and it's so very true. And when you get into a practice of, as she said earlier, we were talking about tracking, and Sherry knows, you know, tracking is a very key element in the success of your team. And obviously, the more successful your team is, the more successful you are. Like Zig Ziglar always says, when you help enough people get what they want, you get what you want. It's not rocket science, but tracking is key. So, you know, about mid-month, you do want to check in on your team, see where they are toward their goals, whether it's a bonus gate, whether it's MAG 7, whether it's a leadership goal. And this past month end, I had the most fun. The last day of the month, I went through my entire downline, which is about 3,000 consultants. Anybody that was close to a bonus gate, I texted them. And I just said very simply, you're about $81 from a bonus gate. You're about $150 away from a bonus gate. You're about $92 away from a bonus gate. And I got so many just fun responses. And only one out of everybody I texted, which was several, said, "Who is this?" I'm like, "It's Tammy Nichols." And she's like, "Oh." So, and she's way down on my team. It doesn't matter. I did not want her to miss a bonus gate. So just tracking that, helping them do it, paying attention, letting them know you're paying attention goes a long way. So Sherry, thank you so very much for this call. It was impactful. It was great whether you're a brand new leader or you're an up and coming leader or you're a seasoned leader. So it's definitely worth listening to again. Guys, we're revamping our lifestyle call a little. We're going to do those twice a month. We're going to offer one daytime hours and one evening hours. So we will not have the 6:30 call tonight. I know Sherry mentioned that earlier. So we're revamping that. I will send a separate email to you and that information, but there will not be a lifestyle call tonight. We will, however, have Monday Night Live, and the fabulous Susan Glass will be leading that call. So do not miss Monday Night Live. Let's get our teams back to simplicity. Let's get this business back to fun and simplicity and get more people on board, get more leaders developed like we did years ago when we kept things a little more simple. That's what I want to encourage all of us to do. Have a great Monday, everybody. Thank you again, Sherry Sachs. We'll see you tonight on Monday Night Live. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.